From Washington, this has been World News Saturday. Tomorrow, watch World News Sunday for a complete look at the day's top stories. World News Saturday is a presentation of ABC News. This is ABC.
Topping Eyewitness News at 6, a surprise search by Minneapolis police looking for illegal gambling. A roof collapse in Waseca kills 2 workers in a printing factory. We'll have the latest. We'll meet the volunteers who work every weekend on learning how to be lifesavers. And the success story of one woman who's helping others despite her cerebral palsy.
The snow is just about over for today. We'll take a look at how much we got and when our next chance for snow really is.
In sports, the fists are flying in the ring, on the ice, and on the court.
Those stories and more next on Eyewitness News at 6.
Jenny, your pancakes are ready.
I didn't know you made pancakes, Mrs. Butterworth.
I made them from my very own mix.
I can't wait. But I forgot a fork. Hi, I'm Mrs. Butterworth. My 2 syrups are delicious.
Because they're both made with grade A butter.
She really talks.
And they pour on very thick and rich.
Mrs. Butterworth's, regular and light.
For your farm, your family, your piece of America, and everything you're working for, AgriCenter means more.
Your local AgriCenter dealer has a lot more to offer. More experience, more top quality products, more service, more value, more of what you need for your farm.
AgriCenter means more.
Get more at your local AgriCenter dealer.
It's the Water Bedroom's January clearance and white sale. During this sales event, take home the Linwood for just $259. Save 20% on all kids' furniture. The Jamie Daybed is only $199. Plus, receive a free comforter wrap with any daybed purchase. There are special savings in our complete line of brass and white iron beds, like the Winston for just $219. Complete waterbed sheet sets start at just $15. Comforters from $39.99. And beautiful daybed ensembles start at $69.99. Hurry, this is a limited offer. Going on now at all Water Bedroom superstores.
You're watching KSTP-TV, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
Live from Minnesota's News Channel, KSTP Channel 5. Mike Binkley, Karen Falloon, and Mark Stevens bring you Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone. Within the last half hour, Minneapolis police have conducted a search at the Alanon Society at 2218 First Avenue South. They're investigating allegations of illegal gambling activities. Jackie Renner is standing by live with the story. Jackie?
Mike, this large brown building that you can see across the street behind me is the Alanon Society, as you said, at 2218 First Avenue South here in Minneapolis. A short time ago, officers from the Minneapolis Vice Unit executed 2 search warrants here. They were looking for evidence of illegal gambling activity, and they say they found it. When officers broke into the 3rd floor in an upstairs room of the building, they found 8 men engaged in a poker game. Now, officers say, based on information supplied to them through confidential informants, they have reason to believe that high-stakes poker games have gone on here. Up until a few minutes ago, they were also searching for slot machines and pull tabs. The officers also allege that not only is this a friendly poker game, so to speak, among people, but that at least one person who was arrested tonight was profiting from these games, that he was making money from the games. In other words, that he was operating a place of gambling, and they expect that that person may well be charged with a gross misdemeanor. We will have more information on this search and police's investigation into alleged illegal gambling activity here at the Alanon Society at 10. Mike?
How many arrests out there, Jackie?
So far, we know of the 8 people who were engaged in the poker game will all be placed under arrest, and several other men as well.
You said high-stakes poker games. Did they indicate how high the stakes were?
Officers said before they conducted the raid that, based on information they had, some people participating in the games had told them they lost $600 to $700 in a weekend, and that at times the pot on the table was significantly higher than that.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Another breaking story now. Within the last few hours, a building's roof has collapsed in Waseca, Minnesota, killing 2 workers and injuring at least a half dozen others. It happened at the Brown Printing Company, where about 65 workers were on duty. Joining us live on the phone now is Bob Horman, news director of radio station KOWO, who has been at the scene. And Bob, this isn't the first time this roof has collapsed, is it?
No, it's not. It happened about 2 years ago in the same area.
And what happened then? As I understand, that was due to snow?
That was due to snow as well. And they're not attributing this yet officially to the cause of snow today, but they did say because of the accumulations we've had in the area the past several days, that it might be a good possibility that's what caused the roof to collapse today.
How much have you had out there in the last couple of days?
Well, on Tuesday we received officially 13 inches, and then today we've received well over 3 inches, so almost 1.5 feet.
Now, you've been out there at the scene. How would you describe the mood around there? Certainly an emotional scene it must be.
Oh, everybody is shocked because we can't believe that it's happened in such a small town. You think about it, you think that it's going to happen in some bigger town, but it hit our town today. And I guess the best way to say it, it looks like it was hit by artillery shells.
Okay, Bob Horman, thanks very much. We should mention that an eyewitness news crew has just arrived on the scene in Waseca tonight, and we hope to be able to bring you more on the story a little later in our newscast. Well, bad visibility and slippery roads made driving a disaster for dozens of Twin Cities drivers. State Patrol officials reported more than 100 fender benders on freeways in the metro area just this afternoon. On this quarter-mile stretch between Lexington and Hamlin on I-94 in St. Paul, we found 9 cars involved in a variety of accidents. The thick snow in the air didn't help drivers much either. Dark shapes barely identified this scene as the Minneapolis skyline. Now let's join Karen Falloon to find out if the roads and visibility will get any better tonight. Karen?
Yes, Mike, I think they will. Now, the snow has been falling over the southwestern half of the state today, and it's just about over for the Twin Cities areas. Those advisories we had a little earlier this afternoon have now been canceled, at least for the state of Minnesota. Right now on the radar, the area of light snow is just about pushed into western Wisconsin, stretching into southeastern Minnesota, and is moving to the east-southeast away from the Twin Cities area. So all this snow should be tapering off to flurries. And, Mike, I'll be back in a little bit with the complete forecast.
All right, Karen, see you in a bit. A snowmobiler in Washington County is lost. No one knows where he is. The rescue teams are out searching. Now, that's a story we hear often, but today it was a drill. Catherine Smith spent some time on a training mission with members of the Civil Air Patrol. It's a group that doesn't get much attention until someone is missing.
During the week, they are business professionals. They are students, but mostly they are unsung heroes. In Minnesota, there are 1,260 volunteer members of the Civil Air Patrol, or CAP. 4 times a year, they go through training drills. Chris Johnson is a senior CAP leader. His squadron, 4 cadets, 3 high school students, 1 who's in college. Today, their mission is to save a life.
Did he have any supplies with him, sir? We have no idea. All we know is that he was out snowmobiling and never came back.
Usually when a Civil Air Patrol squadron is assigned a search and rescue mission, they work on the ground and from the air. But today, some real-life weather conditions are making air support impossible. So members of the ground team will be on their own. Once the team has been given an area to search, it's up to the leader to make it work.
Snowmobile is blue and white. A Snowjet is the brand. And the license number is PW909.
It puts guys like this in a situation where they get to use some neat equipment and provide service to the community. It's a real self-esteem builder.
Todd Forsberg's been a CAP volunteer for 3 years. He says helping people is why he keeps coming back.
You're looking for people, and then afterwards you go back and you have a good feeling about it, that you tried to help somebody out, even if you didn't find them, you're out there putting your time in. And
after about an hour, their searching paid off.
Mr. Lennon, begin recording the scene. Mr. Sparks.
The snowmobiler is rescued.
Yes, it is a dummy. Okay. Sure, you all right?
These volunteers know that real-life searches don't always have happy endings. They say the satisfaction sometimes comes when you know you've done all you can. Catherine Smith, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Lake Elmo.
Things are back to normal tonight in St. Paul Park, where a train derailed last night. A tanker car half loaded with propane jumped the tracks and fell on 3 passenger cars. The tanker never did leak, but emergency precautions were taken. Officials say a switching error prompted the accident. The car was back on the track early this morning. State DFL officials are trying to keep from getting derailed by the Democratic National Committee. The DNC is unhappy with Minnesota's early caucus date, which is late next month. At a party central committee meeting in St. Paul, DFL leaders came up with a plan designed to appease the DNC, as weak as the proposal may be.
We're waiting to see what their response will be. We're not real optimistic. They asked for 4 things. We only agreed to 1, so we're assuming that they will turn us down again.
The proposal would remove the words presidential preference from the caucus night reporting results. The National Party has threatened not to seat Minnesota delegates at the National Convention if national guidelines aren't met. A long dispute over a new car has finally been resolved this evening. Dorothy Pavelka finally was given her new Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra by Wally McCarthy Motors this afternoon. Whether she'd be able to keep it had been up in the air since November. The problems began when the NCAA said because her son plays baseball for the University of Minnesota, she couldn't keep the car as a gift. She won it in a raffle from the university's M Club. But now the problems are worked out.
Exciting. Never won anything in my life. And then pull the ticket out of $27,000 out of a barrel. Unbelievable.
And Pavelka says the car drives just fine. Just ahead on the Eyewitness News, the day in sports with Mark Stevens.
That's right. Later on in sports, we'll check in and see if the basketball Gophers can stop their losing streak. And we'll also see how Mike Tyson continued his winning streak. Totally Tyson highlights for you later on.
All right, and when we come back, we'll meet a victim of cerebral palsy who turned her disability around and is making her life a success.
I guess they're more like the rest of society than they are different.
Here's what farmers have to say about the grass control they get with Eradicane.
Since we've switched to Eradicane now, we're enjoying a 100% grass control. We have a big problem with foxtail, and Eradicane is doing a wonderful job.
I had excellent control over giant foxtail and a few broadleaf weeds. When you consider the cost savings, we're going to have to look at it next year, too.
For better grass control than Dual or Lasso, farmers like you are switching to Eradicane.
Bowling in the USA. Bowling in the USA.
Short season singles leagues are now forming at your neighborhood Gold Pin Bowling Center. Call the Connection, 922-9000.
Bowling, bowling, bowling in the USA. We're back bowling, bowling, bowling in the USA.
I'm so happy today. What you need from a radio station changes depending on when it is, where you're headed, or what you're doing. And through the different times of your day, and the different places you have to stay, there's one radio station to turn to every step of the way. KS95 FM, the #1 music station under the sun, is 95 and sunny all day long.
The sounds of family fun out at White Bear Lake. This is ice bowling, and the below freezing temperatures combined with a slippery approach for some low scores. The $1 a game goes to the Cerebral Palsy Foundation, and this is just one of the many CP events this weekend. Hope you'll join us on Channel 5 tonight for Starathon 88, a telethon to raise money for United Cerebral Palsy. This past week, we've been telling you more about cerebral palsy by telling you about people who live with it every day. Tonight, Kevin Berger has more on a remarkable woman who is working to help children with disabilities, including cerebral palsy.
Roberta Keeney was born with cerebral palsy. About 20 years ago, she was Minnesota's poster child. That's Roberta with then-Governor Harold Levander. Today, Roberta works with disabled kids needing special nutritional plans. She often speaks to groups. These people are food service workers in the Osseo School District. Roberta's workshop is designed to help them serve children with special needs.
Fiber without sufficient fluid will block the intestine.
Roberta is a registered dietitian with a master's in nutrition and degrees in home economics and psychology. But it's not her education that makes her a popular speaker, it's her impish wit. Roberta uses a lot of humor. Here she's talking about bodily functions.
Constipation may result the process of how can I say it really tactfully here? Okay, I think I got it. A lot of times, at least at first, people have to try a little harder to understand me. I think the humor helps. It makes them want to listen.
Roberta wants people attending her workshops to have concern and compassion for the disabled, but she says most of all she wants them to know that most importantly, these young people are, in her words, just kids.
People, for the most part, are willing to do what needs to be done when they know that something is needed. I think it's a point of getting the information across.
Roberta lives independently, has a career. That surprises some people. What does she think we need to know about those with cerebral palsy?
I guess that they are more like the rest of society than they are different.
Kevin Berger, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Again, this reminder, our Cerebral Palsy Telethon begins at 10:30 tonight. Mark Sapelsa and Angela Astor will host coverage that runs through the night until 10:30 tomorrow morning. We hope you'll join them. Well, snow seems to be a common sight in the Twin Cities this week. Is there more to come? Karen Falloon joins us ahead with all the snowy facts. And later, we'll find out why these kids are kicking with all their might. Stay with us.
Today, a refresher course in sore throats. There's the one from smoking, the dry, tickly kind, the burning sore throat. Fortunately, there's great-tasting Luden's cough drops. Luden's help replace pain with pleasure. They quickly dissolve to coat irritated, inflamed tissue with soothing, cooling relief. So, for minor sore throat problems, get major relief from Luden's.
This Winter Games memory is brought to you by Champion Battery.
High speeds and sharp turns. Short track speed skating will make an Olympic debut in Calgary. Short track skaters race against the clock and one another at the same time. The U.S. squad features a trio of teenagers from Minnesota. Tara Laszlo is from St. Paul.
It's really exciting, to know that you're representing the U.S.
It's only a demonstration event in '88, but the games have already been sold out.
If you gotta go because the life's on the line, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go when it's 20 below, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go because the stork's arriving, you better have it. Champion. 700 cold cranking amps. Pound for pound the most powerful battery you can buy. Guaranteed to start your car. Champion. You better have it.
Save $20 at Montgomery Ward Auto Express.
Ciao.
¿Cómo estás?
Howdy.
At Hardee's, we brought in experts to see if the new international toppings made our quarter-pound burger even better. The Italian, mozzarella and pizza sauce. The Mexican, chili, onions, and cheese. The American, cheese and tender ham. They were a huge success in any language.
Caramba! Oh, no.
Now this is a burger.
Hardee's, let us win you over, too.
To make sure we have this right, the Starathon begins at 10:30 tonight, runs until 5:30 tomorrow night. Hope you can watch that. It's right here on Channel 5, the Starathon for cerebral palsy. More snow in our forecast?
Yes, says it'll be an on-again, off-again kind of thing for the next couple of days. Our satellite picture shows that we have quite a bit of cloudiness across the Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest. And the reason is 3 low-pressure systems, one over the Great Lakes, one over the southwestern corner of Minnesota, and yet another back up over Canada. The one today that provided us with snow is continuing on its way to the southeast. While we had snow on the northeast side, on the southwest side, very strong winds across South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado. In fact, Jefferson County Airport near Denver reported winds well over 90 miles an hour, and that destroyed their wind measuring device, their anemometer, earlier this morning. 120-mile-an-hour winds recorded and reported in the higher elevations of Colorado. Those windy conditions will die down, but much later on tonight. This storm system for us provided us with snow that spread initially from eastern North Dakota across the southwestern half of the state. Now, if we look at the radar laps from earlier this morning, the snow started just to the west of the Twin Cities and continued on its way through the metro area. And throughout much of the day, that snow continued in heavy to moderate at times over parts of the Twin Cities area, but it was that light, fluffy kind of snow that just was blowing and drifting around. Right now on the radar, though, most of it is spread into western Wisconsin and into southeastern Minnesota. Much of it over the northwestern and western suburbs is tapered off to flurries, and that will improve as the night goes on. However, the winds will be increasing. Amounts of snowfall across the upper Midwest range from anywhere from 1 to 8 inches. In the Twin Cities here, officially, we received 2.8 inches of snow, and our high today was 11 degrees, the low 6 below zero. Currently, we have 11 degrees with snow still occurring at the Twin Cities International Airport. The dew point is 6. The relative humidity is 80%. Winds are out of the north at 13 miles an hour, and the pressure is rising. Snowfall amounts elsewhere in Minnesota range from 1 inch at Rochester, 4 at Mankato and Fairmont. Heavier amounts are reported today at Marshall and Montevideo with 8 inches each, and then back toward Fergus Falls, they had 4 inches. Now, advisories are out for blowing snow. You'll note the state of Minnesota not included, but from southeastern South Dakota across Iowa, blowing snow. Snow is just about ended there. Additional snow of 2 to 5 inches plus blowing snow across Wisconsin, the northern half of Illinois, and most of Michigan, with the exception of the western upper peninsula area. Well, now for tomorrow, we have yet another low-pressure system on the way. That one is the one that's dropping out of Canada. We'll move into west central Minnesota once again. It's not as strong as the one we had today, so we're not looking for as much snow with this one. That will continue right across the upper Midwest. For tonight, then, the snow will be ending. Blowing and drifting snow, at least in the evening hours. Winds will be 15 to 25 miles an hour, dropping off late tonight. Our overnight low will be near zero. Waking up, a few flurries possible, 4 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest at 10 miles an hour. Sunday, we have light snow and flurries once again. Highs reaching the lower teens. Sunday night, a chance of snow. Around 1 to 2 inches is what we're expecting. And we're looking for overnight lows just below zero, 2 below to 8 below. Monday, flurries in the forecast with highs single digits. Tuesday, another chance of snow. It'll be light snow, a chance of snow again on Wednesday. And this should all break up and warm up by Thursday. It does look like we have a warming trend coming in the forecast. We just might see 30 degrees by Thursday afternoon.
I think we'll be ready for it by that time.
I think so, too.
All right, Karen. Still ahead in sports, the basketball Gophers hope the streak stops here tonight. And Holmes finds a home on the canvas against Tyson last night. Mark Stevens has it all next on Eyewitness Sports.
In Europe, it's the way the French say hello. The way the Austrians say goodbye. The Irish say, I love you. In all of Europe, on all occasions, Mon Cherie has become the most popular, most treasured brand of fine milk chocolate. Mon Cherie. It's European for chocolate.
When I heard that 1 out of every 4 homes in America is somehow affected by crime, I decided my family was not going to be a statistic.
The medical panic button saved my husband's life.
Now, from Pacesetter Security Systems, a factory direct offer on probably the most affordable home security system in America. For as little as $13.95 monthly, your peace of mind begins immediately. The same security the wealthy have relied on for years is now completely affordable to anyone. Our Emergency Control Center keeps 24-hour tabs on your home. So if a break-in, fire, or medical emergency occurs, the appropriate help is notified and on the way. You'll appreciate the difference the Pace Guard can make to your homeowner insurance rates while actually increasing the resale value of your home. The Pace Guard 660 from Pacesetter Security Systems. You can call it peace of mind. 1-800-252-8000. The call's free, and so is a special homeowner information kit. Call Pacesetter now. 1-800-252-8000.
It's been so long since the Gophers have won a basketball conference game.
Yeah, you got to have one heck of a memory to go back. If you remember, Clem Haskins got his Big Ten coaching career off to a great start. He won the first 2 league games last season, but since then his Gophers are 0 for their last 20 in Big Ten play. But they have a chance to end that streak tonight when they host Ohio State at Williams Arena. Now, the Gophers had a chance Wednesday night against Northwestern, but let a big lead slip away, and the Wildcats walked away with the win. The 4th tough-to-take loss in a row. But Clem is determined not to let his Gophers get discouraged.
That's what I pride myself on, trying to get them ready to play every game and not to look back. And that's hard to do because you're dealing with 17, 18-year-old youngsters, and sometimes they get kind of down because of a loss. We had a chance to win the game, but to me, every day's a new day, and I'm thankful to get up And I keep telling my son to come up tomorrow morning regardless if we win or lose.
The Gophers and Buckeyes will get it going at 7 o'clock tonight at Williams Arena. Big Ten basketball this afternoon. Purdue held off Louisville. Troy Lewis will get the bucket on the inside here. 15 of his 23 points came in the second half, including 5 big free throws in the final minute and a half. Purdue beat Louisville 91-85. They've won 16 in a row. That's the nation's longest winning streak. Meanwhile, in Champaign, Illinois, today the Illini rolled past Northwestern. Big day for number 33 there. Kenny Battle had 15 of his 17 in the first half. And the Fighting Illini crushed the Wildcats 79-48. Illinois is now 14-4 overall. Fourth-rated Kentucky, no problem with LSU today by 15. Oklahoma surprises number 6 Pittsburgh. Duke trounces Wake Forest. Missouri, the most points in the history of that school, over Iowa State. And Notre Dame surprises Kansas 80-76. The Hockey Gophers will try to round up them doggies again tonight in Duluth. Last night, the Gophers opened their series with a 6-5 win over the Bulldogs in overtime. Gophers trailed at 5-2 in the third, but Jason Miller started the comeback with his second goal of the night. Gophers eventually tied it and then won it on a goal by Dean Williamson, his first as a Gopher. Again, the same two tonight at Duluth Arena. Now, the North Stars will have a new look tonight in Hartford. The question is, will it be new and approved? Defenseman Mo Mantha is expected to make his debut with the Stars tonight against the Whalers. Mo was acquired yesterday in a trade with Edmonton for Keith Acton. This is Mantha's second trade in 3 months. On the ice this afternoon, things got a little out of hand in Boston. A goal here by Reed Larson, a former Gopher, against Ronnie Hextall, and Hextall doesn't like being scored upon. Charges out of the net and just starts a big brawl. Flyers went on to win that game, though, despite the goal. 6-4. Also today, Norris leading Detroit, tied Calgary at 4. Let's try boxing where they're supposed to fight. In the 4th round last night, Mike Tyson sent Larry Holmes to the canvas more times than a starving artist. And it wasn't a pretty picture. 4th round in Atlantic City. Take a look at that right hand. Holmes goes down. That's just a preview. The 38-year-old former champ gets plenty more from the 21-year-old undisputed champ. Tyson leveled him again. And one thing about Iron Mike, he knows how to finish what he starts. One more time, and the referee has seen enough. I think I have too. Tyson's unbeaten in 33 bouts. He'll fight Tony Tubbs in 2 months in Japan. But what about the unbeaten former IBF champ, Michael Spinks?
Well, what about Spinks? Bring him on! What are you going to say for? What do you think? Well, I believe I could beat any man in the world. And like I said, I can prove it in the ring, and I'm ready to prove it now even.
With a hat like that and fists, would you argue with him? Fists flying last night in California, too. Only no one was wearing boxing gloves in this bout. Knicks leading the Lakers by 3 in the 4th quarter when Michael Cooper and Pat Cummings square off. Both benches emptied and the fight was on. Eventually, order was restored and the Lakers took over from there, scoring 7 straight points. They hold off the Knicks 113-112. Both of the guys in that fight will get a 1-game suspension. Also last night, West German Steffi Graf fought off a late rally by Chris Everett to win her first Australian Open. Top-seeded Graf beat Chrissy 6-1 in the first set, but had to go to a tiebreaker in the second before winning the match. Steffi was playing in her 4th straight Grand Slam event finals. Tonight, Pat Cash will face Mats Wilander for the men's title. Pro golf. Jay Haas has the lead after round 4 of the Bob Hope Classic, but check out this shot by Jim McMahon. He's one of the celebs playing in this event, but on this shot, he looks like a pro. Nice effort, but he missed the putt. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Nice etiquette there. Nice bare feet for Jim, too. Final round of that tournament set for tomorrow. A couple of final notes. Bob Benoit of Dallas bowled a 300 game in the finals today of the Quaker State Open. And the college football season finally over. The North beat the South in the Senior Bowl. I know you're very interested.
All right, Mark. We'll be back with more in a moment.
It used to take hours to do a roast this perfect. Now it takes just 30 minutes in your microwave with the Tender Cooker. Juicy roasts, whole chickens cook oven tender, microwave fast.